This is The Reading Room, the weekly podcast where we meet many famous authors around the world. And I'm Ruby, your host. Last week, we had an intriguing talk with Mark Twain, a humorist and novelist from the United States. And this week, on our episode 34, we also invite a writer from the United States who has used his wit and humor to write over 600 short stories with surprise endings and is best known for his short story, The Gift of the Magi. Can you guess who is? That's right, it's Mr. O. Henry. Good morning, Mr. O. Henry. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ruby. It's a great pleasure to be here. I have listened to quite many episodes of your program so far, and I'm really amazed with the way you host your program and what you have been doing up to now to bring literature to life by connecting your audience with the writer of our time who podcast and interview each week.
That's really good to hear. Let's start by asking you some self-introductory questions. From what I've heard, your real name wasn't O. Henry, was it?
No, indeed. I was born William Sidney Porter in Greensboro, North Carolina, in 1862. O. Henry was just the band name I used later. I like the sound of it, and it gave me a bit of mystery.
You didn't start as a writer at first, did you?
Not at all. I was a pharmacist, a banker, and even a cartoonist. I love observing people. Every ordinary people have a story worth telling. That habit helped me later when I began writing short stories.
And so that's why you devote yourself to be an author, so that old stories could be worth telling and sharing. And I think your life wasn't always that easy. You faced some big challenges and obstacles along the way too, right? So could you please tell me some of them and how you deal with those huge insurmountable difficulties?
Yes, one of the hardest times came when I was accused of embezzlement at a bank when I worked in Texas. I flew to Honduras for a while, but I returned to the United States when I learned my wife was dying. It was kinda really traumatic for me at that time. I mean the loss I had to pay and accept, and the crisis I had to go through. And you know what? What go around or come around? Not long after my return to the United States, I served 3 years in prison. It was there that I truly became O. Henry. I wrote stories under that pen name and sent them to magazines to support my daughter.
Well, I guess that must have been an incredibly difficult period for you yourself, right? But at last, you have turned it into something more meaningful, helping you to earn your bread and finding motivation and comfort within you. Psychologically, it was really nice of you to maintain your optimism and cherish all the moments you had, even if you were in times of crisis and the darkest moments of your life.
Well, yeah, exactly. Prison actually turned out to teach me compassion and humor. Pop became the head of my story. I learned to see hope even in hardship.
So your writing career really took off after that. Well, I've recently read The Gift of the Magi, the one that you have just published for this Christmas, and is quite best-selling at this time. So, can you please share with us more about that short story? Like, what was your inspiration for the story, and how did you came up with such ideas and plots and setting?
Well, the idea for the gift of the Magi occurred to me naturally. I mean the experience I have in my life and the observation I make about the human nature. I incorporate that value in my writing because all I want to convey is the message and the belief that selflessness and the enduring spirit of love can transform life and the situation, no matter how hopeless they seem to be. And like many other short stories that I have publicized, such as The Last Leaf and The Ransom of Red Ship, this new short story for this Christmas season not only based on those philosophy, but also share the same hint, in the supply reader but still feel true. Well, I hadn't expected this topic of writing would turn out to be so popular, gaining so much attention worldwide. It was something here is the success of the story and the public approval that I highly appreciate and motivating me a lot.
Yes, readers love how your stories show both irony and kindness at the same time. Why did you use twist endings so often?
Life itself is full of surprise. Sometimes fate plays joke on earth, and sometimes those surprise bring out our best self. I just try to capture that truth with a smile and a sigh.
That's perhaps really wonderful. Talking about surprise endings or plot twists, could you please tell us more about the decisions that young Gillian made at the end of $1,000? It's got the most surprised ending, I believe, and I bet the audience are really curious to know why there was a sudden change of thoughts in the mind of young Gillian, as $50,000 is such an enormous amount of money, and such debt is so tempting, especially to one who is the inheritor or the heir of the money.
Well, let me remind you and the audience the screen with young Gilliam ripped tore the envelope containing the papers so that there would be no evidence that he had given Miss Hayden the money for good, and the $50,000 could go to her as his uncle wished written in the will in the case he continued to use and spend money in the way he had in the past. Before that, he had asked various people what he should do with $1,000 and decided to hand this 50 times less than the true amount given to him by the lawyer to her, since he had come to know through the lawyer that his uncle Ward received only $10. $50,000 was, in fact, a bigger and more deserving reward for his simple and unselfish action, but somehow meeting her at the library had changed his mind and heart, causing the following course of action to happen. And indeed, after all, he finally realized the true meanings of generosity, selflessness, and love, which he had never understood before.
Well, I couldn't agree more because for such a carefree person like young Gillian to change his mind and realize something more meaningful is impossible. But you indeed let it happen naturally and smoothly. Our podcast has nearly come to an end. So, do you have any advice given to the younger people and generation out there to encourage them to write fantastic stories like yours?
The only small bit of advice I have is to write about the people around you. You don't need hero, you need humanity. Every street, every cafe, every hub holds a story worth telling and sharing.
Thank you so much, Mr. O'Henry. It's been an honor talking with you and learning about your life, your struggles, and your timeless stories.
The pressure is mine, and remember, every ending can be a new beginning.
You've been listening to The Reading Room. Don't forget to follow the podcast and the upcoming episodes and share this episode if you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep reading, keep dreaming, and keep believing in the power of stories and words.